Hi, I'm Susan French, clinical hypnotherapist. Welcome to Everything Hypnosis, filled with hypnosis facts and recordings. Enjoy and subscribe. This video is for helping you to get to sleep and stay asleep. If you're having difficulty sleeping, I hope that any of my recordings for sleep will help you. If you need more specialized help, contact me below for a free consultation. There's no pressure, no obligation. We can just talk. Of course, whenever you choose to go into hypnosis, you shouldn't really be driving or operating heavy machinery. And if your sleep problems do not resolve, you should consult a physician or other medical professional to rule out any serious or correctable interference with good quality sleep. Good quality, consistent, sufficient sleep is essential for good mental, emotional, and physical health. It is your birthright. Do not allow your life to be marred by insufficient or interrupted sleep. You'll pay for it in the end, and there are answers. If your sleep issue has been going on for a long time and or is severe, besides seeing a medical professional, you should plan on listening to this recording every night as you get ready to fall asleep for at least a couple of weeks. Remember, your brain and body have forgotten to fall asleep naturally. It may take some repetition to get you back to your natural state. Please don't be discouraged. Sometimes it just takes a little time. First of all, as all of my followers and clients know by now, proper breathing is physiologically and neurologically necessary to slowing down your brain and your nervous system so that you can enter the state from which you easily fall asleep. If you follow my instructions for correct breathing, you may find yourself asleep before you even get to the sleep hypnosis. So here we go, if you're ready. Now, when I say proper breathing, I mean to breathe in the way that babies breathe when they fall asleep, even as your pets do. Watch your dog as it falls to sleep, or even your cat. Or perhaps you might watch your mate. As they fall asleep, the breathing goes into the belly. The breathing begins to slow into a rhythm of deep, low in the body, long, slow breaths, which are directed right into what feels like your abdomen. Belly breathing. Perhaps many of you might know it from breathing for birthing, also called Lamaze, or sports, or singing, playing a wind or brass instrument, singing and acting, or yoga. Visualize or imagine that you're breathing in the most wonderful fragrance that you can imagine. Something that will instantly make you think of calm, sleepiness, and comfort. It could be vanilla or lavender, which are said to make you sleepy, or the baking of cookies, or dinner on the stove, or even a wonderful garden filled with wonderfully smelling flowers, or even newly cut grass. Breathe in slowly now, luxuriantly, as if you wanted to breathe in each and every one of those wonderful smells forever. Slowly visualize or imagine that you're breathing in from the bottoms of your feet right into your abdomen. Perhaps you want to visualize or imagine that you've swallowed a balloon and you're inflating it with your breath. And then hold that breath for a few moments. Notice how it seems to press through your lungs into your bloodstream to be carried to every cell in your body. Notice how this alone begins the process of slowing down the brain, the mind chatter, your heartbeat, your pulse, your breathing itself. And can you notice that the muscles of your body just seem to want to begin to soften and loosen and lengthen and relax? And when you're ready, breathe out, 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 a little more forcibly, as if you were blowing away all troubles and concerns of the day. Blow away all tensions, aggravations, and worries. Blow them away for now. They will all be there in the morning, but this time is for sleep. Wonderful, restful, engulfing sleep. You get to say goodbye to the day and escape into the calming, comforting wonderfulness of sleep. You get to check out. That's right. You reboot the computer. And now let's do that again. And first let me say that every breathing cycle has two parts: an in-breath and an out-breath. For calming purposes, the most important part of this cycle is not the in-breath, but the out-breath. Take care to push out all the old air out and make room for lots of calming new oxygen to flow through that body again. I like to say that oxygen is Mother Nature's painkiller and Mother Nature's tranquilizer. And it is, you know. And as you breathe away all the toxins from the day, you breathe away all stressors or annoyances. Let them all go for now. Blow them away easily with your breath. It may help you to push your stomach out before you fill it with breath, just so you can get the feeling and not breathe high in your chest, which has the effect of waking up your nervous system. And even if you're thinking, let's get on with it, I promise you, if you will do this part with diligence and attention, you are bringing your brain and your body into a state from which you will fall asleep much more easily. Paying attention to your breathing is a psychological tool for calming the nervous system for patients with anxiety problems. So just do it, okay? And now breathing in slowly again, luxuriating in the smells, as if you want to smell every bit of those fragrances forever and right into your belly. Hold it for a few moments. And when you're ready, breathe out slowly and steadily, a little more forcefully, a little bit longer than the in-breath, until all of the old air is expelled. That's right. And then, will you take a moment to visualize, or imagine, or tell those muscles to loosen and soften and relax, to get heavier and sleepier? You know your body will listen to your imagination. And to let go of all tension, that's right. Can you let those arms hang loosely and heavily from those shoulders? And those feet uncurl and spread and relax. Check those legs for tension. And now the back of your neck and your back, your head, your scalp, the joint that holds your jaw to your skull. Make sure it's nice and loose. Your teeth might even part just a little. And now your forehead, smooth and relaxed and sleepy and heavy. Now you can add one more thing, if you like. Pick a color you associate with relaxation. For many people it is blue or green, but whatever color or colors work for you, use that or those. And as you breathe in, imagine that wonderful sleep-making energy that you're breathing in is that color or colors, and bringing with it some wonderful potion or elixir, some magic potion for sleep, like the sleepy dust your mom used to talk about, or you would read in bedtime stories. Even those ideas begin to make you sleepy. And let that energy be filled with wonderful colors and magical potions for sound sleep. And each breath in brings you in another dose. Can you feel it? Don't you notice how much more relaxed you are now than when you began? And watch it and feel it get better and better until you drift off into blissful, restful nothingness of sleep and amazing dreams. Have you ever dreamt that you were flying through the air? Many people have. I have. Have that idea as you fall asleep, that you can fly with Peter Pan or anywhere that you would like to fly. Or be lying on a white beach in Fiji or Hawaii, lying in the sand with the ocean waves rising and splashing on the beach and then pulling back out with the tide. Or wherever your favorite place might be, where all of life fades away and disappears, leaving you to dream fragments and restful, velvety darkness. You can visualize or imagine seeing yourself from above, watching yourself relax more and more. Or you can imagine staring at a computer monitor, taking a video cam of you as you fall asleep. Now, if your eyelids have already closed, and that's a good thing, imagine you can stare through your eyes at your eyelids at that computer monitor and watch that belly expand with each breath, and then collapse inwards as you breathe out, and watch how those muscles just let go all by themselves, or even with a little help from you, as you take your attention to where those muscles might feel the loosest. And let that relaxation begin to expand through your body. Or take it to where their tension is the greatest, and bring your attention right into the middle of those knots of tension. Imagining them loosening like a tangle of knots in string, loosening to gel, or even to liquid, or even to air. That's right, and you are doing so well, aren't you? And as you forget to allow that belly to expand, and with each breath, and then collapse inwards as you breathe out, even with a little help from you, as you take your attention to where those muscles feel the loosest, and let that relaxation begin to expand through your body, or where your tension is the worst, and bring your attention right into the middle of those knots of tension. Imagine them loosening to gel, or even to liquid, or even to air. And that's it. And you're doing so well, aren't you? And as we go further into this recording, bring your attention back to your breathing, wherever you remember. Make sure it's nice and low. Develop the habit after you breathe out. Out, 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 letting all those muscles go looser and softer and heavier and more sleepy and relaxed. Visualize or imagine all muscles turning to gel, to liquid, or even to air. Such a cool feeling, as if you weren't even there. And part of you is not. Part of you is already starting to drift away into sleep, getting sleepier, driftier, drowsier. That's right. Very good. And I wonder how sleepy you've become. It really doesn't matter, does it? This is much more restful than watching TV or even reading a book, and certainly more restful than looking at your electronics with light that especially disrupts your sleep. So can you just let it now? Just decide to go along with it? There's certainly nothing more to do, is there? All tucked up in bed, almost wrapped up in a cocoon of restfulness, as you begin to breathe comfortably and slowly for however many breaths you breathe, before you fall behind what I like to call the veil of sleep. That point at which you disappear as if behind a door or curtain into dreamless, all quiet, restfully, wonderfully, profoundly restful sleep. If you use this video regularly, or audio, as a powerful tool to help your sleep be deeper and more restorative, as it will be, will you find before you know it that you have retrained and reprogrammed your brain and your body to sleep easily, rapidly, deeply, not long after your head is at the pillow. And think back to the last time you slept peacefully and restfully, just remembering how good that felt, especially when you woke up so rested and refreshed. And remember how that will help to retrain your body and your brain as well. You can even think back to a time in the past, just before you slipped behind the veil of sleep, remembering that that too will help you remember how to fall asleep quickly, soundly, and deeply. That's right. There are many ways to reprogram you into quick and restful sleep, and this is definitely one of them. Use it often. There is no need to make any effort to fall asleep. Just be as passive as you can, except for bringing your attention back to your breathing and letting go completely all muscles, all thoughts of the day, or even of tomorrow, anytime you find yourself thinking about anything at all. And there's no need to make an effort to fall asleep. Just be as passive as you can, except for bringing your attention to your breathing and letting go completely. All muscles, all thoughts of the day or even of tomorrow. Anytime you find yourself thinking about anything at all. It's good if your mind wanders to relaxing images and sounds and smells, or even to the space around yourself or within yourself, within your focus of attention coming from all things external, around yourself or within yourself, coming from all things external to all things internal, as long as they are in neutral or calming. Each time you bring your attention back to your breathing or to the sound of my voice, you may notice that you drift even deeper. Bringing your focus of attention from all things external to all things internal, as long as they are neutral or calming. And each time you bring your attention back to your breathing or to the sound of my voice, you may notice that you drift even deeper into this hazy, sleepy, lazy, drowsy state just before sleep. And perhaps you can notice next time. Or perhaps you can forget to notice. Either way, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you breathe your way into deep and mindless rest. The more regularly you listen to this recording, the more rapidly you will notice yourself falling asleep each night, more quickly, more restfully, more easily, with no effort whatsoever. And should you awaken in the night, you can turn back, or you can simply breathe your way back home. And the more regularly you listen to this recording, the more rapidly you will notice yourself falling asleep each night more quickly and more easily with no effort whatsoever. And should you awaken in the night, you can turn this back on, or you can simply breathe your way to sleep. Now you can breathe and count. That's a wonderful way to fall asleep. Breathe and count maybe back from 100. Do it this way. Think, visualize, imagine the number 100. You can even imagine watching it being written, sky written in the sky. Breathe in slowly and steadily into your belly, using the colors if you like, or not, and holding that breath a few moments. Notice the sleepiness that seems to come as you begin to fill your mind and body. And when you're ready to breathe out slowly but steadily with a little bit more force, and blow away that number 100. And you can watch it as it disappears into the sky, like a breaking up cloud formation, and loosen all muscles until they are totally comfortable. And then think, visualize, or imagine the number 99 being written in the sky. Breathe in now slowly and steadily into your belly, using your color if you like, or not. Hold that breath a few more moments. Notice the sleepiness that seems to begin to fill your mind and body. And when you are ready, breathe out slowly, steadily, and with a little more force. Blow away that number 99. And you can watch it as it disappears in the sky, like a breaking up of cloud formation, and loosening all muscles to be even more comfortable than they were a moment ago. And then think, visualize or imagine the number 98 now, being sky written in the sky. Breathe in slowly and steadily into your belly, using the color that you prefer or not, and hold that breath a few moments. Notice the sleepiness that seems to fill your mind and your body. And when you're ready, breathe out slowly and steadily with a little bit more force. And blow away that number 98. You can watch it disappear into the sky like a breaking up cloud formation, and loosen all muscles to be even more comfortable than they were a moment ago. And you continue to count backwards in this way. I'm not really certain whether you will find that you have started to hear a word here and forget a word there. As if my words just seem to float past your ears. Don't you start to forget them as you hear them. Try to remember the last word I said just before, or the last thought you had. You'll find that you cannot. And that's really wonderful. Just allow yourself to sink more comfortably into this process. Forgetting to remember and remembering to forget that there are wonderful things to experience. And as you continue to count backwards in this way, I'm not really certain when you will find that you've stopped hearing a word here and forgetting a word there. As if my words just float past your ears. Don't you start to forget them as you hear them. Try not to remember the last word I just said, or the last thought you had. You'll find that you cannot. And that's really wonderful. Just allow yourself to sink even more comfortably into this process, forgetting to remember. And remembering to forget are wonderful things to experience, especially as you fall sound asleep. Isn't that the point? Of course it is. So can you just let it? As you listen, you may find that there is a tendency for you to go even deeper into this warm and velvety rest. In the little pauses and silences between my words, even slipping behind the veil of sleep before you even notice. But if you are still with me as you listen, we can count a little more. Some people say that the counting and breathing and relaxing are almost like being rocked to sleep in their imaginations. How lovely that would be. I wonder if you will experience anything like that. And so where were we? I don't even remember. Maybe I'll fall asleep too. Let's see. Was it 96 or 99? or maybe 94 already. I don't remember, and it doesn't matter at all if you forget. It's a good time, and it's a good thing to go to any number that seems right and start backwards from there. And the more you forget, the more you are drifting into that wonderful state of soft, comforting, safe, blanking out and checking out that we call sleep. That's right, we can do a few more just to take you deeper, deeper down. And by the way, each and every time you hear my voice say the words deep or deeper down, that's a reminder to you to take a slow, relaxing breath and drop down even deeper. Because every time I say sleep, you might just find yourself in front of the wall of the veil of sleep, ready to slip behind it into that wonderful, blissful rest. Let yourself go with it. Go behind the veil of sleep and see what's there. And so, then think, visualize or imagine the number 93 being skywritten in the sky again. Breathe in and hold steadily into your belly, using the color if you like or not, holding that breath a few moments, noticing the sleepiness that begins to fill your mind and your body. And when you're ready, breathe out slowly and steadily with a little bit more force and blow away that number 95. You can even watch it as it disappears into the sky, like a breaking up of cloud formation. Loosen all those muscles to be even more comfortable than they were a moment ago, slipping deeper and more comfortably behind the veil of sleep to restfully sleep until morning. And then think, visualize or imagine the number 90 being skywritten in the sky. And then when you breathe out and watch it disappear into the sky like a breaking up cloud formation, and loosen all muscles to be even more comfortable than they were a moment ago, and once again forgetting to remember the numbers, forgetting to remember my numbers, you may begin to notice little dreamlike fragments that float through your mind. And as you allow that body to rest, comfortably listening to these words, can you notice the position that the body is resting in? Perhaps the sensation of this support behind the head, and even with those eyelids closed, you can imagine, you can see through those eyelids if you wish, and get a sense of the position of some of the objects around you. Take a moment to loosen your gaze, or expand your awareness of the space around you. Get a sense of the temperature in the air against your face as it passes in and out of your nose or mouth. A little cooler on the in-breath, a little warmer as you breathe out. And even with those eyes closed, you can remember what is in the space in your room, around you in the dark. You could stare right into that space, not at any particular object, but at the space between the objects. That's right. And the space around that body. and the space around that body, even as that space is inside your mouth, even the space inside your mouth. Do you stare up at that space in your mouth? Do those muscles loosen up? I'll bet they do. But my guess is you're forgetting to remember my words consciously. But the muscles loosen up, especially the jaw and the tongue and the throat. And perhaps what you're remembering to forget is better, as your subconscious mind has awareness of the space in the throat. You might want to swallow. And if you want to swallow, please let yourself swallow. That's right. It's just letting you know that you are drifting off now. Drifting deeper and deeper into that wonderful, comfortable, safe and secure and restful sleep. Into your muscles and stomach. And when you stop to think about it, when you magnify any piece of matter enough, when you get down to the atomic level, even according to the scientists, you can see that 99.9% of every atom in the universe is simply open space. There is space within and space without. The bed upon which you rest is very, very dense. How very, very strange. Even your body is in very, very dense space. And you can listen, not to any particular sound, but to the space where there is no sound, and the space between those words. Notice how these words travel as vibrations through the air, and around and within these vibrations in space. And the ears that hear the words are super dense space. As you go off to drift even into sleep, you will shift your attention from all that exists outside of you, all that external stimuli, the electrical signals that those eyes that send to the brain in those ears, or a taste or smell or sensation from the outside, become tuned out as you begin to shift awareness to your inside awareness, your inside imagination and awareness, where you can start to become very absorbed in all of those things internal. Perhaps fragments of the day that has just gone past, wisps of thoughts with the day, can stay tuned. Even your body is in very dense space. And you can even listen, not to any particular sound, but to the space where there is no sound, the space between these words, and how these words travel as vibrations through the air. As you drift deeper and deeper into sleep, and you simply shift your attention from all that exists outside of you to all external stimuli, the electrical signals that those eyes send to that brain and those ears, or a taste or a smell or sensation from the outside, can become tuned as you begin to shift attention to your inside awareness and your inside imagination and awareness can become tuned, where you become very aware and absorbed in all things external. Perhaps fragments of the day that has just passed, wisps of thoughts about the day to come, and you can breathe and blow those away, can't you? Come back with my words and the breathing. And you go automatically deeper into that blissful, blessed nothingness of sleep. Your opportunity to check out for those hours aren't meant for sleep. that your mind and your body needs to sleep. You might notice that every day things begin to slow down and fade away like 1,000 little pieces of paper. Because they are not important now. Now is the time to sleep. And as your brain waves slow down and shift into that shifty, drifty, dreamy state that the psychologists call hypnagogic, where your thoughts begin to become more daydream-like and stop making so much conscious sense and become more hazy-like and dream-like qualities, sort of becoming mixed up together, so you can't remember which is which. And that is such a good thing, isn't it? You can let go just a little bit more as you sink into the softness of this dream-like, daydreamy state, where nothing can disturb you or bother you, where nothing is important right now. You don't need to consciously try or stop yourself from trying, because your instinctive ability and template to sleep that you had as a baby and as a child, and perhaps even as an adult, is starting to overtake your awareness, doing its job. You don't need to understand or even notice, do you? Because as you sink and drift deeper into more dreamlike experiences, you can even have a dreamy, drifty thought about what you would like to dream about, and never have that dream again. Let yourself awaken. And what would you like to dream about? I have a friend who loves to sleep, and he never had to reteach himself to sleep. And he has the most fun with his dreams. He can decide what to dream, and he'll dream it. And if he wakes up in the morning before his dream is finished, he'll just go right back into it, wherever he ended the story last night, and continue during the day. Perhaps you can do that too. Think now of a dream you'd like to dream, even if you're still awake. Perhaps you're hearing my words in your sleep. You can try it now. Some storybook image of something that you can't even really tell the difference. Or perhaps you have another everyday conscious thought, the echo of a conversation you had earlier. Perhaps you can do that too, as you now think of a dream you'd like to dream. And even if you're still awake, perhaps you're hearing my words in your sleep. And you can try it now. Some storybook image of something so real you can't tell the difference. Or perhaps you have another everyday conscious thought, or the echo of a conversation you had earlier. And then you can blow out and relax and slip right back into some dreamlike experience, listening to some music that you forgot all about, that you love, haven't heard in a long time. And the rhythm or the melody just begins to fill your mind, and you become so absorbed in this listening that you forget, don't you? But then if there's a flicker of another everyday thought, like what you have to do tomorrow, you can blow it away too, can't you? And loosen your body and drift right back down into the thought of taking a wonderful, wonderful walk through a garden you remember, in a patch of grass where you might have grown up. Or was that just from a bedtime story that your mother told you? Perhaps the air is warm or cool. Perhaps you'd light it, arms swinging easily at your sides, and the crunch of leaves and the smell of petals dying in the grass, but smells so sweet. And before you know it, you come upon that wonderful pool of water. Arms swinging easily at your sides, and the crunch of leaves and the smell of flower petals dying in the grass, but smell so sweet. And anywhere, before you know it, you come up with a wonderful pool of water. Stick your toe in and find that it's warm and perfect. Without a thought, you slip into that wonderful pool of water as you become immersed in it. Doesn't it seem to pull from your body any last tension? Do you float or swim or just paddle around? You'd forgotten how heavenly and healing a magnificent body of perfectly temperatured water can be. The feeling on your skin and all around your body, and how when you stay perfectly still, all the little ripples become still as glass, and you can see yourself in the reflection. As any and all remaining tension is pulled from your body, and any and all remaining tension is pulled from the body as you just rest and indulge yourself in how good it feels. Tiny ripples from every moment seem to rock you into deeper and deeper sleep. Perhaps you begin to notice some forest animals, like squirrels getting ready to hibernate, getting ready to wind down and rest, just like you are doing right now. But that's right, a deep and profound relaxation flowing down the arms, over the forehead, and even the eyelids, as the jaw becomes so loose, and the belly going in and out like that old floppy dog asleep at your feet, reminding you that even as you are deeply asleep, that you want to be in that place and space too. A place where your mind can drift only to happy and peaceful things. Perhaps you fly on a big white fluffy cloud tonight, or so deeply into the ocean that you can see everything, knowing that you are totally safe because you've grown the gills that allow you to do so. Or perhaps tonight you can go off in glorious, endless space and fly between planets. And you know how that feeling when the urge to sleep comes over you, so strongly that you cannot keep your eyes open. Like when you're in a boring meeting or a boring class, and those eyelids just start to close heavily and tightly, despite your best intentions. Like when you're watching TV and you just really want to see the end of the story, but those eyelids just keep on closing. Maybe you want to start to dream that you're walking on an interesting path, and each step gets heavier and sleepier and heavier and sleepier. Will you get to your destination, or will you fall asleep right here? And so I wonder now, as these dream plans flow through your mind, knowing you can drift even deeper, can't you? To see what dream is waiting for you. Your own dreams of the story within you that you want to dream. And you can do that now, can't you? Or in a few moments, when you're even more ready to do so. All tiny muscles of the body, release and let go, soft and loose. All muscles around the eyelids, softer and looser, heavier and sleepier. The muscles of the joint that holds the jaw to your skull loosens and lets that jaw become so loose that I could wiggle it right now. And the wrinkles in your forehead can smooth out like the forehead of a baby as it falls to sleep. And the fingers, soft and loose and relaxed. And the toes, all relaxed so profoundly now that you know it would be so much trouble to just move, that you'd really rather go down more deeply into that deep and dark and safe and comfortable, restful sleep now. Sweet dreams now. Until next time.